So imagine this, you just got hired for a new job, you're excited to do some really good work, and then your boss says, write me a report. No explanation, no further instructions, just says, write me a report. How would you feel? Probably a little anxious, maybe a little stressed. What if you do the task and it isn't to your boss's liking? What if you mess something up, something really important? Now, unfortunately, this is how most people treat large language models such as ChatGPT or Gemini. They'll give it a simple prompt, a simple instruction, hope for the best, maybe iterate, maybe not, and you get some generic slop that's not really what you need, right? This video is going to help you fix that. Hi, my name is Anu. I'm a chemical engineer based out of Houston, and for the past year, I've been upgrading my AI skills so that I can get better at using it at work and in my personal life. And of all the skills I've learned, probably the most important and the basis for everything else, the most essential skill is prompt engineering. To start, we really need to understand why prompt engineering is such an important skill. And that starts by thinking about LLMs in a different way, because it's not just a tool. We need to think of LLMs as like they're new hires. They're good at using the internet, maybe they've got some knowledge from their engineering degree or whatever, right? But they have no clue what your tastes are. They have no clue what your processes are. They still have a lot to learn about your company or your life so that they can help you better. Now, your job is to teach them that through your prompts. So your prompt is like a job description for the LLM. Right? You're giving them a set of instructions so that they can do the job to their best ability. Now, all good prompts have 5 sections. They have the role, task, context or expectations, examples, and notes. To remember it, I use the mnemonic, robots tackle complex engineering nicely. So let's break down each part. Who is the LLM? What is its persona? Financial analyst? Kindergarten teacher? International travel agent? By giving the LLM a persona to personify, you're essentially narrowing down its scope of what information it's looking at and also how it's going to respond to you. Like the way it's going to talk is very different if it was a kindergarten teacher talking to a couple of kids versus, say, a financial analyst talking to a board of CEOs. So of course, the task. It's obviously, what is the LLM actually going to do? Is it going to write a report? Is it going to generate some buzzwords? Like, you have to tell it what you want it to do. And of course, the more detailed you can describe the task or your output that you want it to get, the better. Write an essay is pretty bad. Write an essay about climate change, it's a little bit better. Write an 8-page essay on the long-term and short-term effects of climate change on a particular ecosystem is even better. More detail equals a more specialized output. So the context. This is the why behind the task. Why is the LLM doing this? What is this for? What are you going to use the material for? If you're asking it as a kindergarten teacher, is this for a lesson plan? Or if you're this financial analyst, is this for a presentation? Who are you presenting to, right? And what the LLM does with this information is it uses it to tailor its language even further, right? If you're talking to CEOs, it's a different audience than if you're talking to, say, fellow engineers, right? And it also determines how accurate or critical it needs to be. Because one thing you'll learn about LLMs is that they always are operating on a scale between speed and accuracy. They're always trying to be fast, and the more accurate you get, the more time it needs to verify and check itself and think through things, so you lean more to the accuracy side. So there's this balance in act. As they say, show, don't tell. This is probably the most important section in your entire prompt. Examples, examples, examples. You want to show the LLM what a good output looks like. And you can do that with 2 or 3 good quality examples. The better your examples are, the better the output's going to be, because the LLM is just going to essentially frame their response exactly as how you frame the examples you gave it. So put the most effort and most time into crafting those good examples. And then notes. Anything that doesn't fit into the rest of the other sections, or it's something that is so important that it bears repeating. Maybe you absolutely cannot go over 800 words in your response. Like, that's a hard limit. So maybe you might want to reiterate that in your notes. Or perhaps there's something that is kind of minor, like maybe, oh, I don't really like emojis. That's just a personal taste. Okay, I don't like emojis. It doesn't really fit in the other sections, but I'm just going to put it as a note, hey, avoid using emojis in my response. That's another thing you can do in your notes section. This is kind of a miscellaneous catch-all type of section. Now, to see all of this put all together, I've put an example of a great prompt in the post linked down below in the description, so check that out. Now you might be asking, do I have to do this every single time? And no, that's the best part. Firstly, you only need to do this exercise for tasks that are extremely critical, where you want to be extremely accurate, and you want it to the output to meet a certain criteria or level, right? So you have to think about this like, okay, write me a report, or you're using AI to support an AI-powered automation, or you're making the prompt for an AI agent. These are things that are very critical and you want them to perform at a high level. So what are you going to do? You're going to take the time to craft a prompt so that it's consistent, it's repeatable, and it's high quality. If you have a simple query, you don't need to go through this work, right? Because it's just, you can ask, get an answer, move on with your life. Secondly, even though the prompt writing process is long, you only have to write it once. Once you've written the prompt, you can save that prompt and reuse it very quickly using a text expander, like BeefText or Raycast. Links below in the description. These are softwares that allow you to quickly access your entire prompt library, so that you can type in something like : report, and then your entire report prompt will auto-populate the window. Now that you've learned all the fundamentals, all that's left to do is practice. Thank you, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.